Did you know koalas aren't actually bears? Yes, you heard that right. Often referred to as the cuddly teddy bears of the Australian outback, these endearing creatures are not bears at all. They are, in fact, marsupials, a unique category of mammals that carry their young in a pouch. The koala's close relatives include the kangaroo and the wombat, not the grizzly or the polar bear. The term koala bear is a misnomer that has been perpetuated by its bear-like appearance. Pioneers of Australia over a century ago coined the term due to the koala's striking resemblance to a plush toy bear. Despite the misleading nickname, our adorable friends are true blue marsupials. Koalas are renowned for their laid-back lifestyle and their peculiar dietary habits. But beyond these charming traits, there's so much more to discover about these fascinating creatures. They are not merely a symbol of cuteness. They are an embodiment of adaptation, survival, and Australia's rich biodiversity. One common misconception is that koalas are slow and lazy because they sleep a lot. But let's clear this up. Koalas have a low-energy diet of eucalyptus leaves, which are toxic to most animals. This diet doesn't provide them with a lot of energy, so they conserve it by sleeping up to 20 hours a day. Far from being lazy, they are simply energy efficient. Another interesting fact is that koalas have a unique adaptation to help them survive in their leafy environment. Each koala has a distinctive pattern of fingerprints, much like humans. This helps them grip branches and leaves in their treetop homes. In essence, the koala is a remarkable creature, uniquely adapted to its environment. It's a testament to the wonders of nature's design and evolution. So let's drop the bear from their name and give these marsupials the recognition they deserve. So next time you see a koala, remember they're more kangaroo than bear. Ever wondered how koalas munch on eucalyptus leaves all day without getting sick? Well, these cuddly creatures have a diet that's as unique as they are. You see, koalas are quite the picky eaters, and they've chosen eucalyptus as their main course. But here's the catch: eucalyptus leaves are loaded with toxins. To most animals, a meal of eucalyptus would be their last, but not for koalas. So, how do they pull it off? The secret is in their specialized digestive system. Koalas have a long gut, specifically an extended cecum, which allows them to break down the tough eucalyptus leaves and detoxify the harmful chemicals. This process is slow, taking up to 4 days to digest a meal fully. But there's more to it. Koalas are not just passive consumers of these leaves, they're connoisseurs. Out of over 600 species of eucalyptus, koalas eat only a few dozen. They choose their meals based on the tree's age, its condition, and even the time of year. Now you might be thinking, why go through all this trouble for a leaf? Well, eucalyptus leaves offer more than just sustenance for these marsupials. They provide hydration too. Koalas rarely drink water. Instead, they get most of their moisture from these leaves. But this unique diet isn't without its challenges. Eucalyptus leaves are low in nutrients and calories, meaning koalas have to eat a lot of them to get the energy they need. That's why they spend up to 20 hours a day sleeping, to conserve energy. Despite these hurdles, koalas have managed to carve out a niche for themselves in the eucalyptus forests of eastern and southern Australia. Their specialized diet has enabled them to survive in a place where few other animals can. It's a tough diet, but someone's got to do it. And for koalas, eucalyptus is the only way to go. Living high in the trees, koalas have a rather laid-back lifestyle. But what does a typical day look like for them? Well, it's a bit of a snooze fest, to be honest. These cute marsupials are some of the sleepiest animals on the planet, clocking in an impressive 18 to 20 hours of sleep per day. You might think they're lazy, but there's a method to their slumber. Their diet of eucalyptus leaves isn't particularly nutritious, and it takes a lot of energy to digest. So they conserve their strength by sleeping most of the day away. When they're not dozing, koalas are usually eating. In the few hours they're awake, they can munch through up to 1 kilogram of leaves, selectively choosing the most tender and water-rich foliage. It's a slow and tedious process, but necessary for their survival. But don't get the wrong idea. It's not all about sleep and food for these tree-dwelling marsupials. They also have an interesting social life. Koalas are mostly solitary animals, but they communicate with each other using a range of vocalizations. From bellows and snarls to squeaks and screams, the eucalyptus forest can be quite the auditory experience. And then there's the climbing. Koalas are excellent climbers, thanks to their strong limbs and sharp claws. Whether they're moving between trees in search of food or escaping from predators, their agility and speed can be quite surprising. Of course, like any other animal, koalas also have to deal with the more mundane aspects of life. Grooming, for instance, is an important part of their day. They use their comb-like teeth and sharp claws to keep their thick fur clean and free of parasites. And so, from their perch high in the eucalyptus trees, koalas navigate their way through each day, a delicate balance of sleep, eat, socialize, and survive. A rather laid-back lifestyle indeed, but one that's perfectly suited to their unique biology and the challenges of their habitat. As you can see, it's not all sleep and eucalyptus for these tree-dwelling marsupials. Koalas, like many other wildlife species, face numerous threats in the wild. But what are they exactly? Let's take a closer look. One of the most significant threats to koalas is habitat loss. As urbanization expands, the eucalyptus forests that koalas call home continue to shrink. These marsupials are fussy eaters, relying almost entirely on a diet of eucalyptus leaves. So, when their habitat is lost, finding enough food becomes a real challenge. In essence, the loss of even a single eucalyptus tree can have a profound impact on a koala's survival. But the threats don't stop there. Climate change is another major concern. Rising temperatures and prolonged droughts, both symptoms of global warming, are detrimental to the eucalyptus forests. Drought weakens the trees, diminishing the nutrient content of the leaves. Consequently, koalas, already dealing with limited food sources, are forced to consume less nutritious leaves, affecting their health and vitality. Then there is the threat of disease. Koalas are susceptible to a range of illnesses, including the lethal chlamydia. This disease, not to be confused with the human variant, can cause blindness, severe bladder inflammation, infertility, and death in koalas. Furthermore, the stress of habitat loss and a less nutritious diet can make these animals more prone to illness. Bushfires, too, pose a significant threat. These devastating fires, intensified by climate change, can wipe out entire colonies of koalas in a single event. The tragic bushfires of the summer of 2019 to 2020 in Australia, for instance, resulted in a substantial loss of koala life, further pushing the species towards vulnerability. As we can see, the threats to koalas' survival are multifaceted and complex. Each one, in its own way, chips away at the chances of this endearing marsupial's survival. The challenges are real, but so are the efforts to protect these unique creatures. So what's being done to protect koalas and their eucalyptus havens? Well, let's dive into the array of conservation efforts that are currently in place to safeguard these adorable marsupials and the eucalyptus forests they call home. A number of environmental organizations, both in Australia and across the globe, are working tirelessly to ensure the survival of koalas. These organizations are involved in a variety of activities, from rescue and rehabilitation of injured and orphaned koalas to research and advocacy for better koala protection policies. One of the key strategies in koala conservation is habitat protection. Efforts are ongoing to safeguard eucalyptus forests from deforestation and urban development. This includes establishing protected areas and implementing sustainable land management practices to ensure that koalas have the habitat they need to thrive. Additionally, initiatives are in place to address the threat of disease, particularly chlamydia, which is a major cause of illness and death in koalas. Research is being conducted to develop more effective treatments and vaccines, and to improve our understanding of the disease's impact on koala populations. But it's not just organizations that can make a difference. Each and every one of us can contribute to koala conservation in our own ways. This could be through donations to conservation organizations, adopting a koala, or even planting a eucalyptus tree if you live in a suitable area. Moreover, raising awareness about the plight of the koalas and the importance of their conservation is something we all can do. Remember, each action, no matter how small it may seem, can have a big impact. The survival of koalas is a shared responsibility, and everyone has a role to play in ensuring their future. Together, we can make a difference for koalas and ensure their survival for generations to come. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the eucalyptus forests of Australia. Remember, koalas aren't bears, but they sure are very special.